long over.
Find the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty.
But the OJ Simpson case is in the spotlight once again. Claims of a bombshell discovery made in the former football star's backyard years ago, just now coming to light. The news starts right now. A new twist is raising old questions about the OJ Simpson case. The LAPD is now testing a knife reportedly found at Simpson's former Brentwood estate. A construction worker at the estate said he found the knife and turned it over to an officer in the late 90s, but the knife was just turned over to the LAPD last month. It is undergoing forensic testing right now. And we have team coverage for you, including a guest to talk about the legal ramifications. But we begin first with CBS 2's Dave Lopez, who's live with more on this bizarre turn. Dave?
Pat, bizarre indeed. It's a case that just simply won't go away. Behind me, the LAPD headquarters, and they are in meetings right now. They are not responding to a couple of reports, one by CBS Radio and one that we've been able to confirm, that the knife doesn't have the consistency with the stab wounds of both victims in this case. And they are not ruling out that it cannot be connected, but right now, those who have seen it are saying that it just seems to be too small to be the murder weapon. Yet, anything with OJ still sparks the headlines.
Is this evidence? And if it's not evidence, how do we prove one way or another that it's not?
22 years after the murders, 21 years after he was acquitted, and the OJ Simpson case just won't go away.
The actual item is described as a knife. I'm not going to go into the description of the knife.
But could it be the murder weapon? The murder weapon never found and never produced at the trial that was used to slash Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman.
It is being treated as we would all evidence, so it has been submitted to our lab.
OJ's estate was sold in 1998, and the new owners demolished it. According to the story told to the LAPD, an off-duty, now retired LAPD motorcycle police officer was working a movie set as a security guard not far from OJ's house when it was being knocked down. One of the construction workers, as the story goes, found a knife buried on the property and gave it to that officer. And what did the officer do with it? He kept it for nearly 18 years before he turned it over to the LAPD 2 months ago.
Anytime you come into contact with evidence, that you should and shall submit that to investigators. So I don't know what the circumstances are why that didn't happen, or if that's entirely accurate, or if this whole story is possibly bogus from the get-go.
The LAPD did confirm that the retired officer did tell them he thought the OJ case was closed. It's not. They will not confirm or even discuss a story going around that the officer who was given the knife told a buddy who's on the force that he was thinking of framing the knife and what he thought about it. That's when his friend told him, you better call homicide. And he did. Even if the knife can be linked to OJ, it doesn't matter. Double jeopardy. OJ cannot be tried for murder again. In the meantime, he sits in a Nevada jail doing his 33-year sentence for crimes he committed there. So again, the OJ case just cannot escape the headlines, and again to repeat, even though there's more testing to be done on the knife, and it will be a slow process because it is very old, they are not, right now, at first glance, it doesn't appear to be the size that will be consistent with a murder weapon. And on it goes. Back to you in the studio, Pat.
You're right about that. But Dave, before we let you go, the police have had this knife for about a month. Isn't that enough time to find out if it was linked to the OJ Simpson case?
Well, you would think it would, but the way it was explained to me when we posed that question is that it is so old. Remember now, this is back in 1998. It's under in the soil. No telling how contaminated it may be. The decay, the rust. They want to be very, very careful. They want to be able to pull prints. They want to be able to pull any hair. And of course, the big jackpot would be if they can pull any blood.
All right. Thank you very much, Dave Lopez.
Nowhere in hell. I'm not buying that shit. That fucking knife wasn't found. That's some bullshit. You know it's some bullshit. "22 years after the fact, And now all of a sudden, they want to put it out there like that. Like, oh, we found a knife after 22 years. Yes, we found it. Bullshit. It's all to bring up the ratings, to hype up this fucking series. You know what I'm saying? It's all bullshit. I ain't buying it at all. Everybody wants to benefit financially off of 2 murders. I bet OJ sitting in jail right now and he's probably saying, damn, these motherfuckers got a series about me. Hollywood can't get off my dick. They still bother me. They still want to know what's up with me. They still want to bring up that case. Now all of a sudden they found a knife? Bullshit. They don't know where the fuck that knife is. Only me and Jason know. And I'm still fucking surprised that Jason pulled that shit. Why did he turn into Jason Voorhees? That nigga been watching Friday the 13th a little bit too much. I told him about that. He shot the shit out of me. I tried to snatch him up, but I cut my finger. Case of the fucking century should be called the case of greedy motherfuckers. Because everybody's a capitalist in this situation. Everybody wants to benefit from that shit. I still remember, just like yesterday, when all this shit had transpired. It was maybe, what, a year after? Let's see. 93, 94. Yeah, I had just graduated from high school. I remember that shit. I was a senior in high school. I had just graduated. And that shit was on the news 24/7. Hey, every day. I remember having my fucking eyes glued to the fucking TV, watching that shit.